Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel. I hope you're all doing well today. I do really hope so. It's been cold today here in Britain. If you're not doing well, please remember, stay the path, my friends. The road might be long, but it's always worth it. Stay the course, my friends. It does get better in the end. So, I did how Games Workshop may be, in my opinion, allegedly, hypothetically, manipulating the anti-GW side. Now, I got to do the pro GW side, just for fairness, okay? Remember, this is a central channel. I try to see both views at the same time. I don't take a side. Actually, that's a lie. I take my side. That's the side I take. It's my opinion. It's my side. I don't get influenced by anyone else. I say what I think. If you agree, you agree. If you disagree, you disagree. You can always leave comments and talk about it. I'm happy about that. So, the thing is, it's kind of weird how games work. Look, I don't want to be political. This is a central channel, right? A centrist channel. I don't like getting political. But unfortunately, I got to in this video. But before we do that, I got to clear up something first. It's Games Workshop's law. I do not care what they do, okay? I am not influenced by it. It does not... Look, I have a decent reading level, beyond year 9, which means not everything I read, I agree with. Surprisingly enough. Okay? So when it comes to anything like race, gender, sex, whatever, right? Sexual orientation. Doesn't bother me what the character does. If a character is a good character, I'm going to love it. If a character is a bad character, I'm not going to like it. Everything else is arbitrary. Okay? So in that spirit, let's talk about it. See, I'm going to cover this bit first because there's other parts afterwards, but this is the big one. And we have to bring up two particular points, two particular examples for this. One is the Ursula Creed model, and two is the Adeptus Custodi Codex. Now, the Ursula Creed model, we'll begin with that one. That is a bad model. It's awful. It's not a very good looking model. It's horrid, it's nasty, and it's very poor. Sorry, drinking Lemsip, throat. And yeah, I don't like it. I think it's a bad model. Do I think it's a bad model because she's female? No. Do I think it's a bad model because she's not very good looking? She's not very good looking? No. I don't like the model because it's bad. It's not well sculpted, it's not well made, and it looks just awful. And if you go into looks, look at the Great Unclean one. That's a fantastic looking model. Look at the Nurglings. Look at the Plague Bearers. Just look at Nurgle's side of models. They are absolutely great looking models, but they are all hideously ugly. Which is unfortunate because, yeah, the Ursula Creed model is just awful. It's not very good. Her eyes are weird. Her face is weird. The helmet doesn't fit. It's a badly sculpted model, okay? Do I hate it because it's female? No, I hate it because it's a bad model. That's it. And the thing is, I've seen this so many times from the pro-GW side that my argument is misogynistic because she's female. It's like, no, I've stated very clearly, it's nothing to do with her being a woman, okay? It's all about quality of the product. And the same goes with Adeptus Custodi's Codex. I don't like that codex. I think it's an awful codex. Why? Because it's badly written. The rules are awful and the stories are badly written. Is it because Kesh is a female Adeptus Custodies? No. That's so insignificant to why I don't like that book. It doesn't even come up in any discussion that I make about it. Except this one, okay? Why? Because again, this poor quality. It's not very well made. And actually, almost every codex this time has been bad. And that's what it looks to me, in my opinion. That's what Games Workshop wants. They want people to focus on an insignificant part. Something arbitrary. Something that really doesn't mean a whole lot in the scheme of things. Rather than the whole. And when it comes to Pro Games Workshop, they love it when you defend these small things, even if they're never brought up. Because they know, it seems to me they know, that you will still buy it regardless of quality. Okay? Such as, if they add female space marines, if they do, or when they do, it's going to happen, whatever. Like I said, doesn't bother me. And they could make the codex on scrap paper, written in crayon, stapled, sellotaped together, bounded with string, whatever, really, like, spent no money making it at all. And what they're hoping is, because they put female Space Marines in it, is that people will still defend it, even though the product is, okay, that's hyperbolic, but let's run with it, is of so low quality that anyone with two eyes will say, hey, that's bad. Because hopefully, what they'll hope for is that people who, because female Space Marines, goes, oh, you hate it because it's female Space Marines, and you're defending something that is incredibly poor quality. Okay? And that's always going to... This is what it seems to me is their form of manipulating the pro side. It's these small, insignificant things that people will argue about and say they don't like, and rather than having people focus on the whole, the main problem. And if you can defend something of poor quality, they will just see... This is businesses in whole, by the way. This is every business. It's not just Games Workshop, by the way. They will see how poor quality they can get away with until you finally say no. Okay? When you finally say, stop, I'm not buying it anymore. It's just too bad. And so that's what they're hoping for. This is what, in my opinion, is what they're hoping for. And as long as they can keep doing that and you keep defending them because insignificant things are being defended, what do they have to lose? This is why you don't see me buying... Why I'm really against limited edition boxes. Limited edition wargaming boxes, and I don't care who you are, I will never buy one unless I can get it cheap. Okay? If I can get it cheap, I'll get it cheap. So anyway, this is, like I said, this, again, limited edition boxes for wargaming are pointless. Literally, if you look up the definition of pointless in the dictionary, you'll see the definition of pointless, and that's what these are. Let me explain this to you. Limited edition boxes, to retain value, just retain it, is to never be opened, never be used, never be made, never be played, never be painted, right? Which means the whole point of wargaming, to build models, to play with models, to paint models, it doesn't apply to any of it. So the whole reason for its being is going to be left in a box and never done. However, if you do build the models, paint the models, play with the models, all of that, right? That means you've got to damage something that is limited edition. Therefore, it's losing its value. So either it's pointless as a model box, or it's pointless as a limited edition box. It doesn't fit its purpose. And never does. But because they stamp limited edition on it, again, they get people buying up. Same with the books. These limited edition codex, they're all wrapped up in cellophane. You open that book, value's gone down, so it can't be read. So as a book, it's pointless. If you want to read it, use it as a book. It can't be limited edition because you've opened it and devalued it. Okay? And so that's the first part. And you see a lot of, this is something I also have noticed, a lot of models which I would consider worse at the moment, in my opinion, which are not great, are coming out in limited edition boxes as well. And or limited number boxes. With FOMO and stuff like that. And because these aren't good quality models, they are hoping you'll buy them because you're too scared to miss out. And they just seem worse and worse every time. And also they add a massive price tag to these FOMO, the new model tags. And then, so with that, that's some issues. The other issue, which is they like to rephrase things and to seem more positive. You don't have a pile of shame, by the way. I will never call it the other thing, which is a pile of opportunity. You have a pile of opportunity. It's models you haven't made yet. It's a project you haven't started yet. And so that's kind of bad. They're literally feeding your dopamine fix to buy, but never the better. And by the way, it is a greater dopamine fix to build and paint your models. That is actually a far higher dopamine rush you will get through finishing a model than you would by buying. Because there's a lot more hardships to it, there's a lot more work to it, and, at the end of the day, it feels a lot better. Whereas buying has a small dopamine fix, and so it's no longer a pile of shame, it's a pile of opportunity. And then they say, the other forms of, positivity being added is they're saying Games Workshop and their games are the hobby. So you're part of the hobby. if you're only doing, and I've said this so many times, if you're only doing Games Workshop products, you're only doing part of a hobby. You're not doing the whole hobby. Well, to be fair, you can't do the whole hobby. Wargaming is so incredibly vast, you can't do it all. But you're doing a very small part of it. The actual hobby, if we take games as a stand stock players, is vast, it's massive, and there's so many games to go out there. There's better games. And if you're only part of a small part, they also use terms like the best. We make the best miniatures of the world. And if you're isolated from other games because you believe that Warhammer is the hobby, you don't get to see these other things, which is a crying shame because there's better models out there. There is. This isn't even me like praising about better models out there. Wildest Exodus models are far superior to Games Workshop in looks, builds, and way the game plays. Same with the games. The better games out there. Actually, out of everyone I know who plays other games, almost everyone, if given the option, will not play a GW game. They will literally play any other game before GW. But again, it's about isolating you from the rest of them by calling themselves the hobby, so you don't look at anything else, and therefore don't play anything else. And you're stuck with them, and that being all you know, because you're ignorant to everything else, you're going to defend it, and you're going to be more pro it because you don't know. And then there's this other thing. As soon as you do step out of that comfort zone, as soon as you do, model can be better, but if you've been so aligned personally with Games Workshop and their models, you're going to see flaws in better stuff. It's just the way it is. An example of this, again, I love psychology so much. Poor people. I sound so... I'm not being facetious. I've been poor. I've been homeless. Right? Don't like proper food. This is weird. Right? Because it tastes wrong. It's better quality food, but with you being so used to the poor quality stuff, the good stuff doesn't feel right. It doesn't taste right because of what you're used to. And the same goes for things that you look at and things you see. And if you only see Warhammer models and you only see Games Workshop models and you're constantly told they're the best, and then you go see a better model, you're going to go, oh, it's not very good. Your mind's going to say it's not very good because it's so different to what you're used to. And again, this is for how Games Workshop seems to manipulate the pro GW side. It seems that they isolate you from everyone else, and they get you to argue over insignificant parts instead of the quality of a product, and they get you to defend it because of the insignificant. It is so insignificant, these bits that you defend. Oh, it's ridiculous, right? Over the broader problems like quality. And while you're doing this, they're making bank, okay? They make 300% profit. Actually, their profit's not that high up this time. It's like 126 million after profit. 126 million compared to 125 from last time. It's a very small amount. But like I said, that's what they want. They want to isolate you, and then they would bring up like you're part of the Warhammer community. But if you notice this is one of the few communities where it's only a one-way street. It's them talking to you. That's not community. That is advertising. That is, I'm not going to say propaganda, but it's advertising. It's just simply that. It's marketing. Whereas you look at Warcradle has Facebook groups. It's a two-way street of conversation. You look at Conquest, they have a living world. You actually have input into the lore with the battles you play. It's a two-way street. You actually feel part of a community rather than being subjugated to marketing and advertising. And because you don't really get to voice your views back, you feel less heard, so therefore you're more likely to take the knee, bend the knee, subjugate yourself, I don't know, whatever term you wish to use, to what they say, because again, you're not getting to say your opinion back, and if it's just a comment underneath a post, it feels you feel silence, you feel like you're whispering. Whereas if you can make the post about your views and your problems and your issues, or want to make memes, you feel like you've got a bigger voice, because you might not get the view of the actual developers. You get the view of people who might agree with you or disagree with you. You feel more heard, and that more people are listening to you. A comment, you might get one or two people, maybe more, but that's it. And like I said, it's a very one-way street with Games Workshop. It's not really a community. It's a market. It's marketing, and that's all it is. It's just marketing. So that's what I think I can sum this up is. Like, with the pro side and how it seems, in my opinion, allegedly, hypothetically, that Games Workshop are manipulating you, it is through getting you to buy poor products based on something very insignificant, such as colour, race, gender of a person, or sexuality, of course. They will get you to defend poor quality products for the same very small, insignificant reasons. They will call you. They will try. It seems like they are isolating you from the rest of the hobby, which is wargaming, not Warhammer. And finally, it's just they bombard you with marketing, calling it community. It's a one-way street. That's it. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good time. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave your comments down below. And I actually quite like this. I like to have a conversation about these things. Yeah, if you want to watch my previous video, it's going to be like on the side here somewhere after the advertising bits, you know, and all that. Talk about advertising. If you wish to save money on your wargaming, here's up to 20% off on Whaling Games down below with free delivery after £20 and the points system, which gives you an extra 1% off. It's great. I use this company all the time. I'm always buying stuff from them. They're very quick with their deliveries. I've got to give them that. Usually in 2 days. Yeah. And free delivery after £20, you're going to get a product, your thing in like 2 days. It's great. There's also Forbidden Planet with comics, DVDs, mangas, etc. Toys, plushies. There's my merchandise, links in description, as always. Comics, t-shirts, cups, everything's designed by me. There is no one else in this production, just me. There's Skyforge, good friend of mine. Let's get him up the Google algorithm. I do not get paid for him. He's a good friend of mine. Let's get him up the Google algorithm. But, oh yeah, Audible as well. That's in there now, isn't there? If you like audiobooks. And finally, Patreon, which I have no clue what to do with. Goodbye.